My buddy is offering his Hayabusa to ride today. He's hopping on the complete opposite. This is my bike, the ZX4RR. About 400 cc's, 75 horsepower or so after the flash. This is 1340 cc's and around 180 plus horsepower. That's at the crank, and then over 100 pound-feet of torque, 110 pound-feet of torque, something like that in the Hayabusa. So this is the Gen 3. This is the newest. It's a quick shifter, all the safety features of Brembo brakes. Yeah, he has stock pipes on here. He's had it for coming up on 2 years now. He'll eventually change out the pipes on here, but I really want to hear what my bike sounds like as well when we ride next to each other. Already, this bike is lower than mine, substantially lower. All right, so let's go ahead and we got a lock on here. There's the on, I believe. On. Okay, there we go. Let's turn that kickstand. We got a TFT in the middle here. I love the analog gauges. He got an aftermarket windscreen on here. Okay. Some good vibes through the seat. All right, this thing weighs about like 580 pounds. All right. So the clutch engagement, he has bigger hands than me, so the clutch engagement is pretty much all the way at the end. Turning circle, I don't think it's quite as good here. The clutch engagement is all the way at the end, and we're going. All right. Now, the speedometer goes up to 180. This bike, I think, is capped at 185. The original Busa could go 200, something like that. But I'm happy to finally be riding the most iconic bike of all time. Well, one of the most iconic, right? The Fireblade is up there. I don't know, you guys, let me know what you think of the most iconic bike of all time is. All right, but the Busa is no doubt top 10. All right, the fastest bike in the world when it came out in 1999, and now we have all sorts of super fast bikes that are like, you know, the H2, for example. All the leader bikes now, which is just crazy, they produce more top-end power than this. RSV4, Fireblade, GSX-R 1000, ZX-10R, those all make more power. The R1, I think, makes more power than this. All right, let's get on the brakes. I mean, it feels really comfortable, really smooth. Like, I could sit on this seat all day long. Okay, it does have a quick shifter. I think there are more vibes here through the handles than actually my ZX4RR. She's, you know, she requires a little bit more energy to turn over, but honestly, not that much. I thought this bike was going to be, it's going to feel a little bit heavier at low speeds, but so far, like, the weight distribution seems really low. So it honestly is just like, I'm not going to say it's a beginner bike, but I think if you're at a substantial weight, over 180 pounds, it shouldn't be that big of a deal for you. All right, so we're in second gear, and we're just going to roll into the throttle. Oh my gosh, I can't hear the engine. All I can hear is wind noise. Oh, this quick shifter is good. There's a beautiful LC500 convertible there. All right, I'm gonna go to 6th gear. Here's 6th gear, and it just pulls out of it. My gosh, that is crazy. Oh my goodness. The quick shift requires a little bit more force than what I'm used to, so I kind of like missed a shift there. Holy cow. I thought this bike would be a little bit more intimidating. Luckily, I rode a bike that's, you could argue it's equally crazy to the Hayabusa, and that's the Rocket 3. I haven't posted that review yet, or my first ride impressions on it from Chaya. There's third, there's second. This thing, it does like 100 or close to 100, I think, in first gear, so around 4,500 RPM. There's a lot of vibes on this bike. But honestly, I feel like my feet are a little bit lower compared to how high they are on the ZX4RR. the handlebars are pushed a little bit further forward. So I'm a bit further forward, but I feel like if you don't have great like knee flexibility and ankle flexibility, this is going to be more comfortable to you than a ZX4RR. But you know, just rolling on the throttle is crazy. Let's get into the turn a bit. Oh, here's a sports bike. I don't know what he was on. Looked like a Ducati or something. Oh my gosh. Predicting how this thing, it turns in a little bit faster than I was expecting. Once you lean it over, it wants to keep going. Maybe that's because it's so heavy. Because the ZX4RR, I feel like once you put it on a line, it holds that line and you don't move from it unless you really want to move. The Busa likes to keep leaning over seemingly when you put it in a turn. So like that, I'm already used to it. It's like your inputs actually are a little bit more magnified here, which is strange because it's a heavier bike. That is a bit weird. Okay, well, should we just roll onto the throttle? Lift control. Oh god. Oh god. That is fast. Now I know there's different riding modes and whatnot here. I'm not going to be playing with any of that. I don't feel like I need to. I mean, this is just kind of like a first ride. And then once we get to the coffee shop, we will we'll keep on the same bikes after that, and then we'll go on the interstate. This does not feel as solid in the turns, which I'm surprised. Obviously in a straightaway it feels like you're not going anywhere, but in the turns it moves around a little bit more than I was expecting. So that's a bit strange to me. Brakes feel good here. Honestly, they feel about the same in sort of predictability as the ZX4RR. I wish I could hear the bike better. I really can only feel the vibes. All right, let's full tuck here. Okay. Holy shit! I don't even know how fast I went there. I don't even want to say how fast I went. The ZX4RR can do 140, but it takes forever to get there. And I mean, that's probably downhill with the wind behind you. All right. Now, cruising in like, yeah, just 50 miles an hour. There's just so much torque there. Quick shifter is nice. I really wish I could hear this engine. So smooth. So smooth. Down into first is pretty smooth too. Honestly, I feel like the fueling here is better than my ZX4RR. You gotta keep in mind my ZX4RR is flashed. Oh, it sounds so good. It's flashed, and you know, its throttle, the second you get on it, it's a bit twitchy. Here, as I rolled on the throttle out of that roundabout, is super predictable. The power came on really, really smooth and modestly. So that was pretty exciting. It's so funny how much power this bike has. Like, you never have to be in the right gear, where in my bike, like, you're constantly like working the shifter, working the gearbox to get in the right power band, which to me is more fun, of course. I mean, if I was taking a road trip on both bikes, this would be it, you know? I feel like I could do triple digit speeds all day on this bike, and put some bags on it. This would be an amazing touring bike. Amazing. Just what I'm in 5th gear, 3rd gear. I wonder if I took off lift control, like how fast I'd be doing a wheelie. It'd probably be doing wheelies in most of the gears. Okay, here's 2nd gear, doing 55. Roll on. Yeah. I feel like with the lift control here, it's kind of limiting the power, which is fine because it's done very smoothly. I feel like it's limiting the power probably until you're like over 80 miles an hour or more, maybe 100 miles an hour, so you don't lift the front end. So I feel like it's crazy with the rider aids on here that it's so easy to ride and so safe feeling. I didn't expect the Busa to feel safe. This bike with its rider aids is just so tame and so predictable. I'm so used to being in like high revs too. Like, this is so bizarre. And it's just happy to purr along in 6th gear at 45, and then you give it a whack at the throttle and it pulls almost as hard as a ZX4 in the optimal gear at about 45 miles an hour as this does in top gear. It's so funny. Holy cow. Oh gosh, it's so weird feeling the fairings. The fairings are so wide. So he's got about 6,000 miles on this pretty girl. Feels like it's built from granite, so I'm sure Busas can last with proper maintenance as long as you would want it to. Those upshifts are very, very smooth. You almost don't feel them. What is it like, kind of like... It's actually super maneuverable, guys. I was not expecting how easy it wants to turn in. Like, that is wild. Let's find neutral. Neutral was easy first time. It's just a monster. So like, the tank feels about 50% bigger. The fairings feel about 50% bigger, but it doesn't feel like a 50% bigger bike. I don't even think I need to give it any gas to pull into first here. Just feather the clutch, slip the clutch a bit with hardly any throttle, and it just goes. I just realized I'm using the clutch for the first time shifting gears. And the reason I just realized it, because I do it on the ZX4RR unless I'm full throttle. I hardly ever use a quick shifter for upshifting. And I was in 4th gear before I realized I was shifting gears manually because it's so smooth on this bike. Very, very smooth. Now the clutch lever is a lot heavier. A lot heavier than the ZX4RR, but it's probably not like Harley heavy. I don't feel like my hand would get tired, and how often are you going to use it if you're going to be using the quick shifter, you know? I backed out of a parking spot just a second ago, and man, does she feel the 580 pounds when you're walking it backwards. That is for sure. Downshifts into first are quite nice. Ooh, the brakes here, so good. These Brembos shave off speed quite nicely. And there's less dive when you get hard on the brakes compared to my bike. Now, I haven't hit the preload properly on that bike. I haven't maxed it out. But this with a longer wheelbase, it seems like it has a lower center of gravity too. There's this less dive when you get hard onto the brakes, which is a good thing. It's a nice thing. And my MT-09 had far more dive than the ZX4 did. Oh man, I wish we could just open it up. We'll get time. Here we go. All right, let's... Just effortless. Effortless acceleration. How does it feel out here on the freeway? Going about 90. Decent amount of vibes actually. You know, and a tuck on this bike is easy to get into. I could be on this tuck for a long time. And doing about 90 in 6th gear, we're only about halfway to red line. That's just crazy. There's just so much top speed on this bike. And in the tuck, man, there's hardly any wind buffeting. A little bit around my shoulders, but not on my head. You can stick your butt really far back and lean super far down. I like how much real estate you have on this saddle too. It's quite nice. Amazing here because it picks up speed so fast you don't realize how fast you're going because it's just so effortless with the speed. So effortless with the speed. It never feels like you're going fast at all. It is incredibly, and that wasn't even full throttle. That's not even full throttle. So it's just begging you to go harder. Keep going, it just pulls so smoothly, well past 6 figures. Like, it's a bit mind-numbing how fast this bike is if you've never experienced it before. And man, when you lay your belly down on it, there's no like wind. You don't feel the wind at all. It's incredible. It shifts real nicely with the quick shifter down into first. Crazy. So fast. So we got an on-ramp here with no one in front of us. This is where I'm going to end the video with a one last acceleration pull. It's crazy that the electronics in here with the lift control, it's just I think she was liking my bike. She wanted that bike, right? Yeah. Here we go. I want to hear the ZX4RR here though. Give it. All I heard was a rev limiter in first gear there. On the
The I missed was when I was getting on the expressway. I forgot that I have to shift this thing. That one goes.
It doesn't matter what gear you're in.
You could be in first. So I'm here, and then I don't know if you saw me. I was going, and then went. I was like, "Fuck!"
I heard you nailed the rev limiter. I'm like, well, you're used to this thing going to probably 90 or 100 in first gear.
It was like the perfect turn. There were no cars. It was straight. And I was like, "Oh, can't get that one back."
No, well, you could, but you can always ride it again. But it's crazy, like even
so
just like
different. It's like driving
6
different
gear,
machines,
half
right?
throttle, and you look down, you're doing like 120.
And this one, after like about $110, like there's not enough weight on the, like with you and the bike, it's still just not enough weight.
Right. Oh yeah.
I got a little worried because the wind was going too. After like 110, I was like, man, I could push it, but like, I just saw you, like I was trying to catch you, and I just saw you going. I was going like 100 already. I was like, yeah, this guy's.
I think you pushed this bike faster than I've ever. I think I've gone like 110 maybe on this bike. I think you went faster than 110.
Yeah, I think I sniped 110. I didn't look down after that because I was like, dude, that guy.
Because it's not. Yes, it can go that fast, but like.
On this one, how fast did you get? You got to
I
140?
think I may have got.
All right, because that's the highest, and I hit it twice.
But
instantly,
you do it so fast.
Yeah.
You're there, and you're like, oh shit, I gotta back off. And I'm glad I looked down because I'm like, well, I don't want to be going this fast, because there's like a, you pick up speed so fast, and you close on cars so much faster.
But I would say this one's less dangerous if you're just riding and trying to do speed, because you get there so much quicker. Like here, like you have to work on it for a good amount of time. Yeah. I got 10% battery on this. I only got 10% battery left, so I'll see ya. All right, we're leaving the Busa, getting back on the Ninja. Hopefully I have enough battery on the camera to talk about my impressions and how these bikes compare and differ. I mean, obviously backing this up, this bike feels like it's nothing. It feels like I'm getting on the ground. Oh, and then the throttle picks up so much faster. Oh,
I'll go ahead and just speak because my GoPro died, but you guys can hear the audio. This bike actually wants to pick up speed faster than a Busa, and you might be saying that's crazy, but like the Busa has so much power that and this throttle's twitchy, man. It's much more twitchy right off the go, and it just sounds so good. I'm so happy to be on a bike that I can hear. Oh my gosh, it feels so light and small compared to the Busa. And guys, I was even full throttle there and got up to 75 like that. All right, so I'm not lacking for any power on this ZX4RR. Oh man, I'm glad I'm back on this bike though. It just feels, I mean, it's not, the seat's not as comfortable. I'll say that the Busa was very comfortable, but I'm just more familiar with this bike. It feels so slow. It feels so slow compared to the Hayabusa, but I'm having more fun on it. You know, if the Busa had cans on it, maybe I would have had a different experience. But like, this bike just feels, and some, strangely, it just does what I want it to. When I turn it, you know, throw it in the turn of it, like it feels more planted and connected to my intentions when I start leaning it over. The Busa was actually strangely unpredictable when you throw it in the turn. Like, it was maybe a little bit too sensitive. Oh, there's a police officer up here, so I'm just gonna shut it down, guys. I'm not gonna get rid of the ZX4RR for a Busa. This bike is more fun to me all the time. Like, the Busa's is crazy to feel that speed rush, that acceleration, and then you look down and it's like, what just happened? This bike, it's slow, it sounds good, it's fun to ring it out, it looks incredible, it handles, gosh, the handling is better on this than the Busa. It's easier to maneuver around at a stop, so that's better for beginners, I would say. However, the seat height is higher here than it was on the Busa. But oh, I'm just so happy to be on this bike. It's just so much fun. This bike is a 10 out of 10 fun. Where the Busa is like a 10 out of 10 big boy games. And you luckily, it's really docile off the crack of the throttle, and how it builds its power is really smooth with the assistance on it. But all right, I'm shutting it down. Signing off of the ZX4RR. You know, maybe this bike will go down as one of the most iconic bikes of all time. It's definitely, that's a nice Aston that you guys can't see because the camera's dead. But the ZX4RR might go down as one of the most iconic bikes in the modern times. It's just so fun. I can't think of another bike that would be more fun than this, other than, well, depends on the usage, but my Grom is just so much fun. The Grom I have more fun on under 45 miles an hour. This one I have more fun if I'm going over 45, if that makes sense. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Be safe out there. Oh, and peace.